Why?
We're going to see a girl.
Who is she?
Peace After Marriage tells the story of Arafat, a lonely, sexually obsessed young man raised in Brooklyn by Palestinian immigrant parents who don't understand his American ways.
If I want to hit him, I will hit him.
Don't hit me, I'm 30 years old! خلاص يعني.
Don't disrespect your father.
Writer-director Ghazi Al-Baloui, who also stars in the film, says some of the story is taken from his own life. Soon after he was born in a refugee camp in Jordan, his parents immigrated to the U.S.
Really, all I've ever known is Brooklyn. The big culture shock for me really is kind of the reverse. It's not Brooklyn, it's when I go back home. And then you see that in the movie.
He's referring to a scene in which Arafat flees an arranged marriage back home on the West Bank, pursued by angry relatives of the jilted bride.
Shalom.
Back in New York, desperate for female companionship, Arafat agrees to marry a young woman seeking a fake marriage to obtain permanent U.S. residency status. She's an Israeli.
Yani she's from Palestine?
We call it Palestine. She doesn't.
Al-Baloui says it's a prototypical New York as melting pot story, with no political message.
I always think of the film as a New York comedy. I think people bring in their perceptions and their baggage of the Palestinian conflict or the Israeli conflict. I mean, I was just writing about myself, so I just thought it was really funny taking my life here in Brooklyn and then using, you know, an Israeli girl who would come to New York, because I think it's just to take the politics out, and that's what I'm always looking to do.
Maybe not always. At the film's premiere at the Abu Dhabi Film Festival, Al-Baloui joked that sexual jihad, or an orgy, might help bring peace to the Middle East, and was boycotted by the Arab press. His next film is set in New York in the year after the September 11th attacks, and is a comedy about a young Arab American named Osama who can't get a date.
It's kind of like a film postcard to that time for me, and it's also about kind of regaining hope, but it also shows the city as a city that can really forgive, and a city that's really culturally open to letting someone like me regain his life after the fact.
Last fall, Peace After Marriage became the first Arab-directed film chosen to open the Jerusalem Film Festival. It will be commercially released in Turkey next summer. Carolyn Weaver, VOA News, New York.